Mm-hmm. All right, what is up, guys? Happy Thursday. Hello, everyone. Kind of an ominous day here in the city. Really cloudy, and I think we got like a storm coming in or something. But we hope you guys are having a great Thursday. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll kind of let everybody file in here really quickly before we really get going. So. Yo, what is up, guys? Ethan, Owen, what's up, man? Happy Thursday, everybody. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, like I said, kind of an ominous day in the city here on a Thursday, really cloudy and windy out. And I think there's like a storm rolling in or something, but yeah, kind of interesting weather out. But yeah, overall, appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, we still got a lot to talk about. Bye week, I know. We are in the midst of the bye week, so I'm sure it's a little different, a little weird without a football game this weekend. But podcast did drop this morning, episode 307. First things first, had a fantastic interview with Taylor Rank, former Gamecocks running back. Be sure to check that out. Awesome guy. And then the show itself, talking about, I went back and forth as far as did I want to release a show today or not because of the bye week. Normally on Thursday, I'm breaking down that weekend's opponent and, talking about keys to the game and key matchups. And obviously this weekend, we don't have a game. But I figure, what are the improvements if I had a wish list, if you will, what are the improvements that I would like most want to see? I'd most like to see from this football team over the bye week. And so that's what the show revolves around. My 5 things I most want to see fixed over the bye week. So you guys be sure to check that out. Went in depth on those things as well. And on the Monday show, I will have a midseason report card. We'll talk first half MVPs and all that good stuff. So I'll break down the first half of the season and kind of go from there. But, yeah, like I said, as always, taking your questions, comments, calls as well, 843-790-3377, and I will put the call-in number in the chat. So F in the chat. And I'll go ahead and open up the phone lines as well. But, like I said, any questions you guys have, taking your questions, comments here on a Thursday. Appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day this week. It's been a really good time. The Daily Crow has been a huge success this week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and making it a success. Seriously. I mean, without you guys, this wouldn't be what it is. So thank you. You guys probably may have seen, which I'm trying to get it. All right, you guys can call in now. I'm trying to get this video to work. Anyways, I got the audio from the Ski Mask caller from Will Muschamp's call-in show, and I put the audio up, and the audio sounded fine on my end. I put it up for some reason, like it's choppy sometimes, then other times it's not choppy. Let me see here. We got 27 people in here. You guys can let's see. Let's see if it works on my laptop. I'll just play it for you guys. See, okay, see, it works. It works on my laptop. That's the weird thing. I'm going to go ahead and play this if you guys haven't seen it, because I don't know if coming through your phones, if it's working or not. But I want you guys to see this. Let's see. Crap, I don't know if I shared audio or not. Oh, here we go. I can do it here. Maybe not. Let me remove it and redo that. We're getting our practice in here. Stop screen. Share screen. Let's see. We got to share the audio. There we go. Share audio. So here is the Ski Mask Crusader strikes again. See that, and that's what I'm saying. That's weird because I'm watching it and the sound is working, and for you guys, I don't think it is. I don't know. That's weird. That's very strange. I don't know. That audio's. I think Will Muschamp has hacked the audio because like that's what it sounds like for me. I don't know. Either way, whatever is what it is. All good. Whatever. Anyways, so hopefully that audio resolves itself throughout the day because it keeps going in and out. But what that is the caller from last night, the ski mask guy. And yeah, I think Muschamp and Todd Ellis and whoever hacked the audio or something because like it worked perfectly before I posted it. And as soon as I post it, the audio goes to complete shit. So I don't know. I think Muschamp hacked it. But either way, yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. The shirt, by the way, tsus.store. It is available if you want to get it. It's on tsus.store. So I love this logo. We made this logo. Gosh, I probably made this logo like 2 years ago. And I don't know. It's simple, but it's so Carolina. You know what I mean? It's so Gamecocks. So, let's see. Lindsay Hagler, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the kind words. Like I said, guys, taking your questions, comments, everything else. The podcast that dropped today, I gave my 5 things that I most want to see fixed or corrected or implemented over the bye week. So, yeah, again, Brian Welch, he says, retweeted from your person. Yeah, I don't know. The sound is just weird. I don't know. Hopefully you get to hear the actual sound working. If you do, it's hilarious. And whoever you are, wherever you are, maybe if you're watching this right now, ski mask caller guy, I would love for you to reach out to me and I'll keep you, we'll keep you anonymous and everything. But that dude is a legend. That dude is a certified legend. So Andrew Bowers really hoping to see a different defensive mindset for A&M. Also hope we see a better improvement in the line blocking for the quarterback. Yeah. I talked about that a little bit. Definitely the defensive mindset, really the mindset overall is the entire football team as far as being aggressive and attacking versus, what we saw definitely against LSU. A&M's going to try to establish the run and run the football. Yeah, I think we all just want to see the defense tighten up and be aggressive, especially on the early downs. And again, A&M's going to try to run the football. And Kellen Mond, I look at him as, he's a solid quarterback, but I think if you can get pressure on him for sure, if you can bring some heat, you have a chance to get the ball off of him and make some big things happen. So hopefully we do see that mindset shift. I mean, again, you got 5 games left, and I know it's easy for us to sit here on this side of things and say, oh, season's a wash, whatever. But like that's not how those guys are thinking, or they shouldn't be thinking in the locker room. Like there's still a lot to play for this season. And my biggest question is like, who's going to step up as that leader in that locker room and say, hey, we got 5 more opportunities to go win a football game. Let's put our best foot forward and see what happens and not quit on this season. So, believe it or not, I mean, some good can still come from this season. Really. If you can get to 5-5, hell, it might not be the way we wanted it, but I mean, if you can get to 5-5, I would say, hey, I'm not going to sit here and rah, this season was great. But I said in the preseason, if you get to 5-5 or better, I would deem that as an acceptable year. The bare minimum now, but I'd accept. I would say it's an acceptable year. And so you're most likely you're through be beating Ole Miss, Mizzou, and Kentucky. At least going 500, you could say, maybe the program isn't exactly trending upward after a 5-5 year, but it's not trending downward either. Like you're not killing all momentum in the program. Again, if you go 3-7 or 4-6, I just in year 5. So, again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls as well. If you do want to call in, got the phone lines open. So if you do want to call in, you're more than welcome. But it's been a great week. Guys. I appreciate, again, you all tuning in, leaving your questions, comments, everything else. You guys have made the Daily Crow a huge, massive success. So I really do appreciate it. Let's see. Tony Stockman says, why not new personnel on team to coach? Other than the head coach, the other position coaches haven't done crap. I would make the move now, knowing the head coach isn't going anywhere. Awesome show. Appreciate it, Tony. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think Muschamp, a lot of people have said, what about T-Rob, letting T-Rob go? I doubt that happens. That's like his best friend. And Muschamp, unfortunately, that's how he operates. That's how he employs he employs his buddies. I mean, it's a buddy system for Will Muschamp. So, I don't know. You take a look right now. If things continue how they're going, which coaches get the axe and which don't, I don't think you'll see a ton of turnover. I really, really don't. I don't think you'll see a ton of turnover. So I could be wrong, but WB Prothman. So what exactly has deemed Muschamp a defensive guru? I know he's been a DC at several places, but have his defenses been great? Well, and that's kind of the point I made on the show. Early in his career, that was his calling card. Obviously, when he was at Texas and all that good stuff, and when he was named the coach in waiting, like that was his thing. But I wonder how much is Will Muschamp's defensive mind and game plan evolved with the offenses evolving. And I know it's changed. It's had to have changed some. I mean, Will Muschamp's not just a completely incompetent human being, and he knows the game of football. But is he as much a defensive guru today as he was, say, when he was at Texas? And I think the answer most people would say is no. I don't know, though. I mean, to me, it's like the results speak, man. The results speak. The proof is in the pudding. And it's year 5, and you're average at best defensively in my mind. You're average at best. So it's a results-oriented business, and look at the results. So, I mean, because you really look at it. Outside of the Auburn game, I mean, and Vandy, I'm not even counting Vandy. But the other big 3 games, Tennessee, Florida, and LSU, I mean, it wasn't all on the defense in those games, but would you say you had any great defensive performance? Like, has your defense rose to the occasion against an elite team at any point this season? Like, it's been okay. I mean, it was okay. I mean, I would say in the Tennessee game, when you defensively do not force a turnover off Jarrett Garantano, you didn't do your job as a defense. Florida, you got absolutely embarrassed. And then LSU, I'd say you got embarrassed. I mean, somebody was like, 14's not on the defense. You give up 38. That's still not good. You give up 38 to a true freshman. So, I just – what's the ceiling for Will Muschamp's defense at South Carolina? How much better is it going to get any better? Who is in the pipeline right now as far as secondary guys that's going to make the safety position better? Like who? Who is it? Who are they? Ty Broom, we're just too small up front on both sides of the ball. I'm glad they worked on fundamentals this week. Hopefully we can control the gaps. I think we're big enough on the offensive side. I think offensive line, we've got a lot of size. Defensively, again, you lose Javon Kinlaw. You lost your size inside, and South Carolina has not been able to replace that. I think Pickens has played some good football overall, but, we haven't had that big inside impact guy like Javon Kinlaw was. So, Andrew Bowers, what happened to the defense from 2017 to now? Do we have better talent than we did in 2017? I think we do now, but 2017 would hurt the defense we have now, in my opinion. It's funny you say that we have better talent. I kind of thought that too, but I tell you, look back at that 2017 defense, there were some ball players on that defense for sure. Sky Moore, TJ Brunson was on that defense. Chris Lamons, who was extremely underrated. Rashad Fenton. My buddy Uric Jones. Hey, Dante Sawyer, who had a knack for the football. Taylor Stallworth. I mean, there were some names on that 2017 defense. Like, I don't know. I mean, and you can't argue with results, right? That 17 defense was the best defense South Carolina had by far under Will Muschamp. By far. Fantastic getting the ball off of people. Donnie Cunningham, why do you think we're not a more attractive transfer destination, especially for players that are expected to play right away at bigger schools? I mean, if you're a highly touted transfer and you got a lot of schools wanting you, it's going to be hard to get them. I mean, bottom line, it's just going to be hard to get them. So, and I mean, if you don't think negative recruiting is a thing when it comes to South Carolina, and I mean, everybody else too, but I mean, come on, dude. If you were an opposing head coach, what would you tell kids about South Carolina? We know the program better than anybody. So we can, as much as we can say all the positive things, we can also identify all the negative things. So the other coaches are saying that. You know that the other coaches are saying that without question. They are. Yeah, Andrew Bowers, we were number 1 in the SEC in turnovers in 2017. Yeah, we were really good. I mean, we just had a knack. Hold on. What y'all think? Y'all think this is spam? I'm contacting you to stand in as a next kin to his deposit of $6,005,000. Right. Good one. Good one. Stacey Manley, do you think they will pull the plug on Muschamp? If I had to guess after this season, no. Hey, listen, if you go and you lose out, maybe it's possible. But right now, gun to head, I would probably say no. By the way, guys, I do want to tell you, my friends, really quickly, just shameless plug for them. Yardware, one of our sponsors, Yardware. I'm looking at the sign right now. Must have for any Gamecock fan. Go to yardwaresigns.com. They're literally South Carolina, the logo Gamecock signs are only $34.95. Get it for yourself. Get it for that Gamecock fan in your life. You can put it anywhere, your yard, your studio, your office, your living room. You can put it in your man cave, your garage, whatever. Yardwaresigns.com. Be sure to check them out. They're also on social media, Yardware Signs. And I've posted about them before, so I'm sure you guys have seen it. But if you're waiting, go get yours today. Why not? Go get yours today. Brian Welch, Scott Moore was the captain of that defense as a freshman. He played with the 2013 team. I think he brought a certain mindset to that defense. That's why they were as good as they were. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. So the mindset has definitely changed. The mindset has definitely changed, and not in a great way. So, again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls as well. Questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. Donnie Cunningham, do you think the head coaching market dictates that decision, or is Tanner that stupid? I think there's a good market for head coaches. Now, granted, people don't want to spend that money. They don't want to spend the money, and they don't want to pay the buyouts and stuff, but there's a good market for coaches. I mean, Billy Napier, Joe Brady, Matt Campbell, Heupel from UCL. Like, there's guys out there, and there's other people that, Luke Fickell. There's guys out there, no question. I don't think the market is like that bad. I mean, so I think there's a market for of coaches out there for sure. Owen Turner, do you think Shai will come back next year? I think if he keeps playing the way he's playing, I think he's gone. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's having a really good year thus far. Now, if his numbers in the second half dip or they dive off, then I could see it. But I think if he continues to play well, and he's going to be South Carolina's primary target. So, if I had to guess, I think he'll go to the draft, but you never know. He's got the option. So, and he already said in the preseason, if he doesn't have the type of year he wants to have, he'll come back. So, it certainly is a possibility. Will, why do you think RJ plays so much? He is not athletic and never makes plays on the ball in the air. I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, RJ, it's not all bad. I mean, he does, but I heard Todd Ellis and Will Muschamp talking about on the call-in show a few weeks ago, and I think they were trying to spin it into a positive, but it's like they were saying, this is a kid that played quarterback in high school and transitioned to safety when he got to college. And they were saying, like, oh, look at his development. Like, people forget that, he transitioned positions and stuff. Like, dude, that's not a positive thing. It's not a positive that we're playing a guy at safety that played quarterback in high school. Like, that's not a good thing. I don't know why you think that's some positive you should share with everyone. So, Stacey Manley, it's all up to the big money donors if they decide to get rid of Muschamp. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think there's enough money there. I do. I think there's enough money there. So, yeah, I mean, listen, RJ, I'm not going to beat up on the kid, but he's had a less than stellar year. There's no question. I mean, he's and I don't understand the issues with the safety position. I just really don't get it, man. Year 5, and that's literally Will Muschamp's position. That's literally the position he played in college. How is South Carolina not fielded one good safety in 5 years? I don't. It's baffling. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. So. Owen Turner, I believe Shiloh can be great. I like the way Shiloh's played. I mean, listen, he's still not a perfect player. He's going to develop and grow as he plays more. But I love the way he plays, the motor he plays with. He flies around the football. He lays the wood, obviously. So I like Shiloh a lot. I like what I've seen from Shiloh thus far. Donnie Cunningham, this would have been the perfect week to let him go. But then again, they had all season of vet coaches when they hired him. Yeah. I mean, if you would have started the season, say 0-5, you might have seen the move made this week, but obviously that's not going to happen. So, touchdowns and home runs. What's up, man? Was Lamons a safety or a corner? He played both. I think his last year he actually played safety, but he played both. So. Ooh. Like I said, guys, Thursday, this week I feel like has just flown by for whatever reason. And in case you missed it, if you didn't listen to the pod today, no podcast tomorrow. I don't think we're going to have a podcast tomorrow just because bye week, and normally on Fridays, I'm giving my prediction for the game and stuff. And, maybe something will come up and I want to do a quick show, but I'm thinking probably no podcast dropping tomorrow. We'll still do the Daily Crow and take you guys questions and comments going into the weekend, but no podcast tomorrow. So Brian Welch, I get to be stress-free this weekend as far as football, but y'all pray for me. I got to watch my Falcons find a new way to lose a game tonight. Yeah, Falcons-Panthers tonight in Charlotte. Should be a good time. Actually, tomorrow, I do have big plans tomorrow now. I will keep them to myself until the time comes, but they are South Carolina Gamecock related. But do have big plans tomorrow. So very excited. You guys will see it on social media. There will be pictures and videos and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls as well, 843-790-3377 here on this Thursday. We're talking Gamecocks. You guys want to talk Falcons, Panthers? You guys want to talk whatever else is going on in the world? We can do that. Yeah, so touchdowns to home runs. What do you think about the big Quinn Ears news? I don't think I'm familiar. What news are you speaking of? Who is? I don't even know. Oh, number one player in the class of 2022, decommitting from Texas. I mean, not good news if you're a Texas fan, that's for sure. I think it's probably smart though for those kids. I mean, we're in the middle of a with the pandemic and stuff, and people haven't been able to take visits and all that, and I see no problem in backing off and kind of reevaluating your options and stuff like that, taking visits and what have you. But yeah, obviously that's not good news if you're a Texas fan. Jonathan Moffrey, who you got tonight? I'm thinking probably Panthers at home. I'd probably go with the Panthers to beat the Falcons. So, Chris, what is up with our recruiting this cycle? Will says, yeah, man. I mean, I said this. I said this months ago, way before, like over the summer, I think. We kind of looked at it, and as far as the prospects and in-state for this class 2021, I thought this would be a rough year for South Carolina recruiting, probably finishing 35 to 40, maybe even below that. The in-state talent is just as weak as it's been in quite some time. And I mean, when you're coming off a 4-8 season, it's not going to be easy to go out there and get blue chip recruits to come to your school after you go 4-8. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of obvious what's up with the recruiting this cycle. You don't have all the in-state talent to pick from. And I want to say this too, and it may sound bad, and I don't, because I think it's great the way Will Muschamp has recruited in-state. But I will say this, Clemson's success has allowed us to recruit well in-state, and Will Muschamp hang his hat on that. Because here's the thing, Clemson doesn't have to recruit in-state anymore. If they wanted those guys, at least half of them would go there. I thought that was a call. at least half of them would go there. But so we've been able to, pick these guys up from in-state, and which helps recruiting, obviously. But this year, you just don't have, and then you're not even getting all the prospects in-state. I mean, Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, I think is he committing tomorrow? Most people project he's going to Georgia. I mean, that's a huge loss. You got another guy who in-state who's committed to Florida, and so it's just, who do you sign? I mean, and again, coming off a 4-8 year with the negative recruiting, it's tough, man. It's tough. So, Owen Turner doesn't help with North Carolina blossoming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just getting tougher and tougher for Carolina because you got to compete with Clemson, Georgia, and now UNC with Mack Brown's coming on. So, I mean, yeah, it's just getting tougher and tougher. Brian Welch, I read the article yesterday comparing Spurrier and Muschamp, and unless we're in Atlanta by the end of the season, and Muschamp has 10, 11, 11, 11 consecutive wins in the next 4 years. I'm sick of people comparing the two. Spurrier never had a losing season here. The program was always trending up. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's a silly comparison. It's a waste of breath. I don't care what the records say. I really, really don't. I mean, comparing the two is so foolish. It's so foolish. I think it's kind of funny, too, how people don't want to mention how the program is just so much different now, or when the program was so much different when Muschamp took over versus when Spurrier took over. Like, the culture is completely different. The facilities are different. Everything is different. Everything's better. So nobody wants to mention that. But again, I shouldn't even have to go into detail and explain. It's a foolish comparison. One is a Hall of Fame head coach that won a national championship and had unprecedented success at another school. The other is a proven loser. And the guy was at that same school that coach had unprecedented success and failed miserably and got fired. They paid him to leave. There's no comparison. And I love the argument. People say, well, if it took a Hall of Fame head coach that long to win, then it's going to take a guy who's not as good a coach as Steve Spurrier longer to win. Like, I think I understand the spin zone those people are trying to put themselves in, but it's just such a backwards way of thinking. It is. Will Muschamp doesn't deserve that time frame. He doesn't deserve that benefit of the doubt. Okay, so you're going to say it's going to take Muschamp longer than Spurrier to win. You want him to be the coach here for 10 years? I mean, really? Just drive the program into oblivion? I mean, come on. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. I think those people that make that point, they just want to argue for the sake of argument. Because, again, no human being right now, and again, we all want to see Will Muschamp succeed. We all do. We all want to see South Carolina win. We all want the same thing. But no human being with two eyes and a functioning brain can look at Will Muschamp in the body of work he's presented and say, this is the coach for us to get us, even somewhat closer to what we were under Steve Spurrier. I'm not even talking about winning 11 games. I'm just saying getting back to respectability of winning 7, 8 per year, competing. I just don't. I don't know. I want to hear football reasons as to why people think he is the guy. How has he evolved and changed as a head coach? Again, you have no reasoning. There's no leg to stand on when you're arguing for Muschamp. And again, I said it before and I'll say it again. The only people that are in Will Muschamp's corner and riding his jock still are either on his payroll, they're blindly loyal, or they're just stupid. I mean, really, it comes down to one of those three things. So. Walker Nelson says, golly, killing me. Once Colin Hill leaves, who do you think has a better chance of starting quarterback, Ryan or Luke? That's tough. That's tough because if you're asking me who I'd want to start, I mean, dude, I like Ryan a lot. Like I appreciate for what he did for South Carolina last year, and playing injured, and his story's great. But I mean, I would rather see Luke Doty be the starter because, again, Will Muschamp even said it last night on the call-in show, which is so ridiculous because if you're saying this, why isn't he on the field in some capacity? Will Muschamp saying he brings a different dynamic to the quarterback position that nobody else gives us. Yeah, no shit. He's mobile. And I just think to win big at South Carolina, you need a mobile quarterback. I think to win big, you need a mobile quarterback. So, I said this with Colin, and I'll say it again with Luke. If the throwing abilities are comparable, if they're the same, and then Luke Doty can run, give me Luke. Give me Luke Doty. So, Tyler Noel, it's scary. We had a handful of freshman wide receivers come in this year and have yet to see them really come on. Brian, Shai, Ortre, all were on the field as freshmen making an impact. It really worked. Yeah, I mean, dude, think about next year at the wide receiver position. Who's going to catch the ball? Who is going to catch the football next year? What if Shai goes and the season continues to go the way it is? Because, I mean, you're through 5 weeks and nobody else has emerged. I mean, hold on. Let's look at this. I want to get the stats real quick. Because I bet they are absurd. Let's see. Let's go to receiving. Listen to this, guys. Through 5 games. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. All right. Through 5 games, Shi Smith leads the team. 36 catches, 415 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I think we all knew that for sure. Shi's having a fantastic year. Your second leading receiver is not even a receiver. It's a tight end. Nick Muse, 14 catches for 202 yards. Okay. Your third leading receiver, your third and fourth leading receivers are your running backs. Kevin Harris with 13 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown. Deshaun Fenwick, 11 catches for 88 yards. The next highest receiver as far as catches is Xavier Legette, who has 7 catches for 113 yards. In 5 games. That's insane, dude. That is nuts. Like, it's crazy. So who's going to catch the football next year? Heck, who's going to be your playmaker next year in any capacity? It's going to be rough. It's going to be very, very rough. Let's see. Ryan Clark, I'm just glad we won this upcoming weekend. Going to be a good week to enjoy a nice week without the stress and disappointment. For sure. Brian Welch, we had Luke Doty, or if they gave Dak Joyner a chance with McClendon as offensive coordinator, do you think our offense would have been more successful? I'm not sure. I really didn't hate McClendon. I think he's a bright, young offensive guy, but a change kind of had to be made. You know what I mean? So it wasn't surprising at all. Owen Turner, I think Muschamp has to put some freshmen out there to see what they have. I mean, that's the thing, though. We as fans say that, but they're still trying to win every game. You know what I mean? So, they're not just going to put freshmen out there to put freshmen out there. They're still trying to win ball games. So, let's see. RJ Kelly. I mean, we're not going to focus on how Will Muschamp is a defensive-minded coach, and we get killed every game. We have no discipline. Yeah, and that's the more questions I've got about LSU, the more upset I've gotten because it just frustrates me. Again, the questions that we have, these are like year one questions. Walker Nelson, what's your prediction on where J.C. Horn would go in the draft? I think he's a first-rounder. I think that Auburn game, if he continues to play well, especially if he gets a few more picks. I think he's probably going to be a first rounder. So. Well, today's Marcus Lattimore's birthday. How about that? Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Appreciate you making this a successful week as far as with the Daily Crow, the podcast, everything else. Really, really do appreciate the love, support, you guys sharing the content, liking the content, everything else. Again, it's been a really good week. So thank you so much for the love, support, taking your questions, comments, call. If you do want to call in, 843-790-3377. Andrew Bauer says, let's play all freshmen at wide receiver and see how they do. You can keep Shy in there for support, but they might shock a lot of people. Well, I mean, you can't sit Shy on the bench. It's your best player. So I understand wanting to get other guys involved. Trust me, I agree, but you can't bench Shy Smith in the process. No chance. RJ Kelly, any news on Marshawn Lloyd? I mean, no, and I think no news is good news. I'd imagine he's just recovering and rehabbing and doing that whole thing. So Tyler Nolan, where the hell has Xavier been the last two games? I didn't see him at all against LSU. I don't know. Great question. I have no idea. Alex Mitchum, how about the ski mask comment? Yeah. So I tried to post the audio, and for some reason the audio is messing up. So let's see if it works on my personal account, because somebody said the retweet on my personal account did. Nope. I don't know. I think Will Muschamp hacked it. That's the only justification I have for it. Will Muschamp hacked it. So appreciate you guys tuning in again. If you have not done so, check out the podcast that dropped this morning. Awesome interview with Taylor Rank, former Gamecocks running back. And also, I give my 5 things I most want to see improved over the bye week. So had a really good time. Great show. Also, your listener questions, voicemail, stuff like that. Really, really good show. Packed show. No podcast tomorrow as well. We will do the Daily Crow 12 to 1, but no podcast. I'm thinking right now. Just, going into the bye week, there's really not a lot to discuss, to be totally honest with you guys that I haven't already discussed. So I'm thinking no show tomorrow. If something comes up, obviously, I'll adjust accordingly. But as of right now, I'd probably say no podcast tomorrow. So Andrew Seymour, if Muschamp knows this is a freebie season, it has no consequence to losing, why not get the younger players like Doty in and some experience and actually prepare them for next season? Again, I understand that from the fan side of things and how we can say that and we can play the hypothetical game. But, I promise you, the guys in the locker room and the coaches and those guys behind closed doors, they're not approaching this season as, it's a freebie. It doesn't count anyways. Nobody's looking at it that way. So I understand from the fan side of things, but those guys are still trying to win games. They're not just going to be the season doesn't count anyways. We'll just play whoever. No, that's just not how it works. Because in their mind, they're not looking at, this is a freebie season. So yeah, that's easy to say amongst fans or whatever, but that's 100% not the way they are looking at it. Owen Turner how has the culture changed from Spurrier to Muschamp in terms of players' attitude? It's tough to say because I'm not behind closed doors and I'm not in the building. So things have certainly changed, though. You can definitely see that. Andrew Bowers, the one thing I want to know is they all talk so good and Jalen Brooks, yet he didn't even play much versus LSU. I think I saw him maybe twice in the game. And, one of the times in the game you saw him was on the pick 6 where it was his fault where he quit on the route. He also had 1 catch for 3 yards. Again, everything Muschamp says as far as practice, just take it with a grain of salt. Everybody looks good in fall camp. Everybody looks good in practice. Everybody's a great player in practice. That don't mean shit, really. I mean, it doesn't mean shit. What do they do when they get on the field in a game situation? And I know I took the heat for it because I was that dude over the summer that I had the comments about Jalen Brooks and whatever, and they're well documented. And, you know, I wish him the best and I want him to ball out and be a great player, but that's what a wing-it receiver against an LSU secondary looks like. And again, that's not saying he's not going to have a good season or that he can't have a good season, but that was kind of my point in the beginning. Like, you know, that was kind of my point. Like, welcome to the SEC, young man. That's kind of what that moment was. So, again, that might have just been a learning experience for him, and he might go out there and have a fantastic rest of the year. But for people to put in these expectations on him like he's going to be the next Alshon or Sidney or Brian Edwards even, I mean, come on, man. Like, let's get real a little bit. Ryan Hood, have you read Chris Clark's write-up comparing Spurrier and Muschamp's first 4 years? Crazy similarities, even as far as recruiting classes. I will say Spurrier had more to work with in year one. Thoughts? Any comparison with Steve Spurrier and Will Muschamp is a bad one. I know what the records say. I totally understand that, but that's the only similarity those two have was the records. So, also South Carolina, those first 4 years, think of all the firsts they accomplished. Like, think of how much different the program is now than it was when Spurrier got there. Again, I shouldn't even have to have this conversation. I really shouldn't. It's exhausting. It's truly exhausting. Again, one was a national championship Hall of Fame head coach that had an unprecedented run of success at Florida. The other one is honestly a national laughingstock and a proven loser and failed miserably at the University of Florida. Where's the comparison? Steve Spurrier also never went 4-8. He also never lost to Appalachian State. Again, where is I understand, like, it's fun to compare those. Why do people want to compare the two? There's no comparison. Why do people want to do that? I just don't get it. Yeah, Spurrier, that's the thing. Spurrier never had crazy classes, but he got the most out of the talent he had on campus. Again, I just, it's mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing. And listen, it's no knock on Chris Clark or anything and Gamecock Central. And hell, I'm sure that article got a ton of views, which is great for them. They're in the views business. I'm sure that got a ton of views. But, like, I just, if you're comparing the two in the sake of saying, oh, look at Will, like, if you're trying to justify, oh, Will Muschamp is on that same path, but, like, that's a terrible argument. You just want to compare for the sake of comparing and saying, hey, look how random this is, by all means. But anything other than that, dude, just come on. No shot. No shot. So, Brad Perkles, it just me or do we seem soft in the middle of the defense? It just seemed LSU had 5 yards anytime they wanted it in the middle. I really do think Auburn did us a favor not giving it the tank 30. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I think we play really soft and conservative, especially on early downs, and it's just we let them nickel and dime us to death. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So, Tyler Knoll, there should be no conversation between the two coaches. Spurrier is on a whole other level than Champ. There's no – I mean, I agree. There's no comparison. There's none. No comparison. Absolutely. Like, it's just, again, it's baffling that people want to look at the records and justify that as, oh, just give Muschamp more time. You'll see it. It took Spurrier 7 years to win here. Wait till Muschamp gets to year 7. No, bro. No. Stop. Steve Spurrier got the benefit of the doubt because he was a Hall of Famer and a national champion. Will Muschamp does not deserve that same benefit of the doubt, guys. He doesn't. Not now, not never. He doesn't. Bottom line. think somebody just left a voicemail. I don't know why. Or no, it's a text. Okay. Somebody texted in and said, so if Muschamp is back next season, which I fully expect him back to be back, unfortunately, do we just hang on to him if he limps to a 6-6 or 7-5 year? Aspirations should be higher in year 6. No, I think in year 6, let's say he's back next year. I think in year 6, man, I haven't looked at the schedule, but you got to win 8 or more. I mean, in my opinion, you have to. I just, I'm curious now about the 2021 schedule. You've got to win 8 or more, in my opinion. They might have not even put the dates. Oh, they have. Oh no, okay, no, they haven't announced the SEC dates. So you're out of conference games in 2021. You play Eastern Illinois, which that's a really interesting team to schedule. You play at East Carolina. You play Troy and you play Clemson, and then you got at Georgia, at Mizzou, Auburn, Florida, Kentucky, Vandy, and then at Tennessee, at A&M. You got to win 8 games there. You should be 3-1 in non-conference, and you got to find a way to get 5 SEC wins. In year 6, yeah. Andrew Bowers, why wasn't Shaw considered for Heisman? He had back-to-back great seasons, better than most of the top players from 12 to 13. He never got noticed. Well, I mean, Shaw was great, but he wasn't flashy, and that's you got to be kind of flashy to be a Heisman. I mean, the stats, like his stats weren't like insane or anything. They were good. I mean, he was a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't flashy enough, I think, to compete for that type of award. So. Let's see. Brian Welch. Spurrier turned the Duke football program around in 3 years. Never lost more than 4 games in a season at Florida. In 11 years, and constantly had the program tuning up with us and broke numerous records. In 10 years, Muschamp has ran Florida into the ground and had our program heading in the wrong direction since he's gotten to Columbia. I mean, again, yeah, I know what the records say. Their first 4 years, blah blah blah, whatever. But there's no comparison, man. There's none. There's no comparison. There's no comparison. And I just don't get people that want to use those comparisons as context that Will Muschamp will have success like Spurrier had here. I just don't get it. I think it's really just people trying to make themselves feel better about the situation. That's what it has to be. So Brad Perkle, do you think we would have been better off hiring Sean Elliott? I don't know. I don't know that Sean Elliott would have been cut out for the job. So, SEC Football 2, what's up, man? Just hanging out on a Thursday, bro. Taking questions, comments, everything else, calls. Just hanging out on a Thursday. Kind of an ominous day in the city, cloudy, windy, but yeah, just taking calls and questions on a Thursday. Feeling pretty good. We got about 10 minutes left here. Savannah Webster, best game of the weekend in your opinion? Maybe Georgia, Kentucky. That should be a good one. That should be a good one. Nobody's given Mizzou a chance, but I'm really interested to see how Florida looks coming back off of the COVID stuff. LSU Auburn's an interesting match. I'd probably say LSU Auburn's the best game. I think that's probably going to be the best game. So, Ryan Hood, Shaw's averages per game for his career were 14 for 21, 184 around 2 TDs, another 25 to 30 yards on the ground, not even close to Heisman numbers. I agree. That's what's crazy. People don't remember that. Like 2013 against Clemson, his last game at Willie B, I think he only threw for like 170 yards, but he ran for 100. Like, so people forget that as far as the stats are concerned. The stats didn't matter, though, because we won. That's all people cared about, and that's all people do care about is winning. So, Owen Turner, what would have happened if we could have pulled Kirby Smart as our head coach? And then RJ Kelly says, man, imagine if we would have gotten Kirby Smart instead of the redheaded stepchild. So here's a hot take for you, maybe. I don't think Kirby would have had much more success at Carolina than Muschamp. I think he's a better coach than Muschamp, but barely. I think he's just at a perfect situation. I mean, dude, Georgia has an insane amount of talent. Insane amount of talent. How do you not win at Georgia? It's almost impossible to not win. So I just don't, Kirby is the same as Muschamp in my opinion, in the sense like he's a defensive-minded head coach. Like they're very similar in my eyes, my view. So, let's see. Andrew Bauer says if we would have pulled Kirby, we would be where UGA is now. I completely disagree. 120% disagree. Dude, it's Georgia. It's not hard to recruit there. It's not hard. Georgia has everything. They have tradition. They have a beautiful campus, beautiful stadium. Like Mark Richt, when he got fired, Georgia was winning 10 games a year. Like, no, I totally disagree with that. Brad Pergel, Spurrier with the talent we have now, would win 7 games this year with this schedule. I said before, I think this is a 6 or 7 win roster. I really do. I really believe that. I think it's a 6 or 7 win roster. But you're not going to see it with this group. I don't think so. You're not going to see it. RJ Kelly says we need an offensive-minded coach. I agree. You look at the way football's going, man. I think you need an offensive-minded guy. I really do. I have no clue why this audio just refuses to work. Ryan Hood, during the coaching search, I want Cliff Kingsbury, and everyone either looked at me like I had 2 heads or responded like I hit the bottle a little too hard. Now look at him. I mean, yeah, dude, it's just, again, it's the way football is moving. You need that offensive-minded coach, man. I do agree with you there. So, RJ Kelly says we need to hire Joe Brady. I'm down. Yeah, I love that. Love that name. Love Joe Brady. Jason Wilkes, can we stop talking about Spurrier? He's not coming back. Didn't like the champ hire to start. I mean, nobody's talking about Spurrier in the sense of him coming back. It's just the comparison is silly, in my opinion. So, yeah. Owen Turner, Muschamp's evaluation of talent is so bad. I just feel like the development's been really bad. So, I don't know. I feel like the development has been lacking severely. RJ Kelly, young Lincoln Riley type coach. Look at what he did one year at LSU passing it. Yeah, no, I agree. Joe Brady would be an awesome hire, in my opinion. Joe Brady would be a very awesome hire. SEC football to Vanderbilt basketball's tweet gave me a much needed laugh today. Quote, brick by brick. They must have some very unstable bricks there. Yeah. That was, I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, a slogan for a basketball team, brick by brick. Tyler Noel, it really sucks having to live in the past when Carolina was good. That little taste of relevancy we had made us all expect to win 9-11 games a year and compete in the East. This staff just ain't it, top to bottom. Bro, I don't even think Carolina fans are like saying like, oh, if a new coach comes in here and you don't win the SEC East, we're gonna fire you. It's just like, bro, we just want to be relatively competitive. Like, just have maybe a shot at it. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ. We're not asking for a lot. We're asking for a coach to come in and win consistently 7 to 8 games a year. And every, say, 2, 3, or 4 years, like have a team where you can go win 9 or 10 and compete for the East. I don't think that's that absurd. I don't think that's that ridiculous. Aaron Bowers, think about this. He would have had the players he has now at UGA on the South Carolina roster in 2020 would be pretty damn good if he has the same staff he has now at Georgia. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't think he would have gotten all those recruits. Like, I could be wrong, but, you know. Oh, man. Guys, like I said at the beginning, be sure to check out the podcast that dropped today as well, episode 307, talking about my 5 things I want to see fixed over the bye week, and Taylor Rank interview. Really awesome interview. Taylor's an awesome dude. Those first couple Spurrier teams were some of my favorites, and so to be able to talk to Taylor Rank and get his thoughts on everything and talk about his career was just awesome. So be sure to check it out. It's a great interview. Certainly a great interview, no doubt. Again, guys, we got about 2.5 minutes left. Taking your questions, comments, calls, everything else. 843-790-3377 if you do want to squeeze one in. Somebody just sent in a text, by the way, that says, how about the head coach at Coastal? Is he somebody maybe keep an eye on? We could probably get him on the cheap. I'm open to it. Whatever. What is it? Jamie Chadwell or whatever his name is? Is it Chadwell? Look what he's done with the Coastal program. I mean, why not? Maybe that's a move for South Carolina. SEC Football Tube, as always. Appreciate the love, my dude. Appreciate the love from SEC Football Tube. And appreciate the love and support from you guys. So it's been a great week as far as content is concerned. Even with the bye week, it's been a fantastic week. I think we've done a lot of good work this week. So looking forward to the bye week, resting, relaxing a little bit, watching some stress-free football. Won't be the same, obviously, without Gamecock football this weekend, but go Boston College. Go Eagles. Go Eagles for sure. So Savannah Webster says, let's put them on the non-conference schedule, and if they win, let's hire him. Yeah, you beat South Carolina, you can have the job. Love that. Absolutely love that. All right, guys, just wrapping up here. We're under a minute. Again, appreciate you guys, the love, support, sharing the content, liking the content. Means the world. Thank you so much. You guys have made this, again, the Daily Crow, a huge success, and everything else, really. I'm going to probably post this tomorrow or some capacity, whatever. But either way, we've set a record for downloads for the podcast in the month of October. And just overall, like, we literally set a record. So thank you so much for that. It's been awesome, obviously, talking Carolina football, breaking everything down with the Gamecocks. It's great to have perspective, and I'm just blessed and thankful that we even have sports to talk about after how crazy the summer was. But go check out the podcast, episode 307, Taylor Rank interview. Also, I talk about my 5 things I want to see fixed over the bye week. We will be back tomorrow on the Daily Crow, noon to 1. No podcast tomorrow. No podcast tomorrow due to the bye week. So noon to 1 on the Daily Crow. And, of course, the content coming out consistently as always. Guys, appreciate you tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much, guys.